Hello, let's talk about Borda count and ranked choice voting. In a Borda count method, voters rank every candidate. And points are assigned according to each ranking, and the candidate with the most total points wins. When you have n candidates in a race, for example, if you have 4 candidates in a race, we assign 4 points for the first place vote, 3 for the second, on down to 1 for the last place vote. If there were 10 candidates in a race, first place would be worth 10 points, and so on down the line. To expedite the counting, the ballots are grouped into identical results. Here's an example. Eric, Fran, and Gus are running for club president. This table displays the results of the election. When you see 18, that 18 corresponds to 18 voters ranked the candidates Eric, Gus, and then Fran. 12 candidates ranked Fran first, then Gus, and then Eric last. 11 had Fran, Eric, then Gus, and then 4 voters had Gus, Eric, then Fran. When we assign points, since there are 3 candidates, every first place vote is worth 3 points, and so on down the line. Eric received 3 points for each of those 18 first place votes in the first column. He received 1 point for those 12 last place votes. He got 2 points for each of those 11 second place votes, and from the last column he gets 2 points for each of those 4 second place votes. If you have to, grab your calculator. 3 times 18 plus 1 times 12 plus 2 times 11 plus 2 times 4 is 96 votes for Eric. Similarly, Fran earns 91 points and Gus earns 83 points. When you total it all up, Eric has the most points, so Eric is the winner. We also want to talk about ranked choice voting. Often you see this abbreviated RCV. In ranked choice voting, if no candidate receives a majority of first place votes, the candidate with the fewest first place votes is eliminated. And then those ballots for that eliminated candidate are transferred to whoever was second on those ballots. And then we keep repeating this process until someone has the majority of first place votes. Ranked choice voting has the advantage to where nobody has to come in for a runoff election. So if there were 3 or 4 candidates in a race and nobody received a majority, normally there'd be a runoff election between the top 2. And then everybody has to come back to the ballot booth or the voting center on a predetermined day, which isn't always convenient, right? But when you rank your votes, when you rank the candidates in your initial vote, you're saying that if my first place person gets eliminated, then transfer my vote automatically to the one that I'm voting second. It prevents the voters from having to come in again in a runoff election. For example here, in this election here, there's 28 plus 22, which is 50, and 11 more, which is 61. So there's 61 voters. 28 of those voters ranked the candidates Jamie, Hope, and Iris. 22 said Iris, Hope, then Jamie, and 11 said Hope, Jamie, then Iris third. First, we note that with 28 plus 22 plus 11, there's 61 voters. Split that in half, that's 30.5. The first whole number over that is 31. So whoever gets the 31 first place votes first wins the election. Jamie is close, she has 28. Iris has 22, Hope has 11. Since there is no winner, we eliminate Hope and then transfer her votes to Jamie. Jamie then has 28 plus 11, which is 39 first place votes, which makes her the winner. So in this election here, in the initial round of ballots, nobody was the winner. If there was a runoff between Jamie and Iris, those 11 people that had voted for Hope vote for Jamie, and Jamie wins. There's no guarantee that uh, all the voters are going to vote the same. If there was a fourth column that had Hope, and then Iris, then Jamie, some of the votes could go to Jamie, some could go to Iris, but in this case, they all went to Jamie. Some people call ranked choice voting an instant runoff, which is a very, very descriptive term. If there's a runoff election, it's nice to have already voted. You get your vote transferred automatically. Summarizing the four methods that we discussed. In the previous lesson, we discussed plurality and majority. Plurality was whoever gets the most first place votes. Majority means you get more than half the first place votes. Pluralities don't have to be more than half. They just have to have more than the other candidates. And then in this lesson, we discussed the Borda count, which is the largest number of total points, and then ranked choice voting, which is the majority after eliminated candidates one round at a time. Ranked choice voting can also be referred to as instant runoff. They're both very descriptive. We rank the candidates, and we have an instant runoff. Either way works. Different voting methods can produce different winners, even when they use the same ballots. And there's some examples in the guided notes that we've provided. Because of that, we always want to declare the method of choice before any vote is cast. If you wait, if you let somebody view the results and then determine how they're going to get counted, that's a terrible way to run an election. Somebody can change the results just by choosing a different method. So in this case here, make sure you choose the method, identify the method before any vote is cast. All right, that's all we got for this lesson. Make sure you get the homework done and send me a message if you have any questions.